And what the dyno tells you is whether you're going to use that engine or not.
Now, Benny, Rusty said the engine just locked up on him. Where was probably the problem?
In the bottom end, the crankshaft, the bearings got some debris in there, but anyway, the crankshaft locked up to the bearings.
Green flag is out. We are back to racing at Pocono on lap number 10. Look at him fan out 5 wide down the front stretch.
There's Phil Parsons on the inside of Jimmy Hensley, and he takes that spot away. Meanwhile, barely gets in. Jerry Coachon on the outside.
Boy, they get back in single file as quickly as they can.
Now we can see the oil dry. That dust that we see is the oil dry where they put down to soak up the oil that Bobby Hillman lost when the Heilig Myers-Ford blew going down the back straight, or actually in turn 1.
Single file through the tunnel turn, number 2.
Well, we had a report that Dale Jarrett might have a slight miss in the engine of the Interstate battery.
Oh, and a spin. Geoff Gordon is spinning and hitting the wall hard up on near turn number 3.
And caution is out once again. Gordon keeps the car on the high side of the racetrack. Looks like everyone else will get by down on the inside. Too bad for the rookie. Had a great run going again here today. Good qualifying, starting in 4th position.
Geoff Gordon crashing here on lap number 10, and here's a replay of what happened. It was just as he approached turn number 3.
Kyle Petty was on the inside of him, Bob. It doesn't look like they touched, and then Hut Stricklin comes up, Hut
Stricklin was trying to get that spot, trying to take that spot away, and Jeff came down the racetrack, got bumped, and look at
Geoff Bodine.
Geoff Bodine and Hut Stricklin got together.
Yep. Bodine has a definite bump on the right front of the Motorcraft Ford.
Hard contact on the left side of the car, and the safety crew now comes to Jeff, and he climbs out of the car under his own power.
Oh, you know that young man's frustrated.
Yeah, he was 10th in the Winston Cup point standings coming into this race.
It hasn't been a really great year for Jeff, although he has had some outstanding runs, but he's also experienced crashes at Darlington, North Wilkesboro, Bristol, Charlotte, Dover, and Pocono, and you can see the result of the Pocono crash. Let's update this situation regarding Dale Jarrett. Here's John.
Well, it's not really a miss. I talked to Jimmy Maycar just a few minutes ago. He says it's a hesitation as the car comes off of turn number 3. They think the float in the carburetor might be sticking. Jimmy says he doesn't think it's going to be a serious problem right now. They're just going to have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Hut Stricklin with a great qualifying run is headed down pit road, and his crew will be ready to go to work. On Hut, is there some damage on the left front nose. Also in the left rear, you can see it mostly looks like sheet metal damage, and they're going to have to pull it off of that left front tire because it looked like it had been rubbing on that tire. They'll get that away. Certainly will affect the aerodynamics somewhat. That's very important here with the speeds that they reach on the front straightaway. Mike Hill will bump up the spoiler on the rear of the car. They had been running about 65 degrees of spoiler. Let's go down pit road to Brett Bodine's pit with Dr. Jerry Punch.
And John, the Quaker State Kenny Bernstein on Ford getting a 4-tire change. He leaves the pit road, as does the Kellogg Chevrolet of Terry Labonte, who's been in. Here is Kenny Wallace leaving pit road, and Stricklin is still in. Let's check back with you, John.
Well, Jerry, what they're having to do, they're having to tape a piece where the nose and the left front fender were actually separated. So they've got tape out, a lot of tape, that they're taping that down in place, trying to fix the aerodynamics. They've also had to beat the underside of the left front fender up to keep it away from the tire. Hut still sitting here on pit road. They're putting on the left front tire and waiting. Mike Hill and the crew are making sure they get that tape on nice and tight. They'll put just a little bit more on. They're asking for a little more now. He is down, still sitting here on pit road. A bad break for Hut Stricklin.
And a worse break for Geoff Gordon as his car is being taken off the racetrack up in turn number 3, where he had made hard contact with the outside wall after getting some help from Hut Stricklin.
Looks like all those guys are doing is color coordinating the paint. I mean, the tape.
Top 10, Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Davey Allison, Ken Schrader, and Jimmy Spencer. And Lake Speed, Ernie Irvin, Ricky Rudd, Kyle Petty, and Brett Bodine. We'll be back with more live coverage in a moment.
Chances.
Bodine was running 11th. He is in the pits. And Brett Bodine is still on pit road.
And Bob, after coming down for a routine, what looked to be a routine tire change, we are being told now by Donnie Richardson that apparently Brett was hit in the right rear in that little incident up in turn 3, sheared off the valve stem, so they had to come down and change tires. And Brett has complained the car is dog walking, sort of wobbling down the straightaway. They think they may have bent a trailing arm beneath the right rear of the car. That's why they have brought him down pit road to try to check the right side of the car. That's where they have pulled a string right now, checking the alignment of the right rear tire and right front. And now Brett has to go back out to keep from losing a lap, so he puts it back in gear and pulls away.
And Jerry, it doesn't look like there's much sheet metal damage to the Quaker State Ford as he goes out, but probably what happened, another car hit the wheel. Didn't do much sheet metal damage, but hit that tire, and that's when you can really do some damage to the suspension of the car.
That is exactly what happened, Ned. The contact was totally on the wheel and tire. That's why it sheared off the valve stem. It didn't even hurt the car, and the crew was trying to figure out when he came down pit road. He said, I got hit in the right rear. They didn't see any damage, but it was actually on the wheel itself that pushed the rear end and possibly bent the trailing arm. They're going to try to bring Brett back in one more time in a moment before the green comes back out and look once again.
Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon's car is on a flatbed. Car damaged too badly to even put on a hook. Here is John Curtin with an update on Jeff.
Well, the crew is awaiting the arrival of the car. They don't really have any idea just how badly damaged it is. And just to indicate that, look at this trailer that they have pulled out. It's got just about everything you could use to rebuild a race car. You've got the rear end with the rotors. You've got a few of the rear axles in here. You've got a master cylinder. You've got some of the brake calipers. Just about everything that you could need to repair a race car. So these guys are prepared to try and fix this car and get it back out as soon as Jeff, who has gone to the infield care center to be checked out, arrives here at the garage area.
Let's take a look at the accident once again, happening over on the north straightaway. Watch Hut Stricklin come up and just barely tap Jeff in the left rear.
I think he was trying to fill the hole where Kyle Petty was, as Benny mentioned a moment ago, and Jeff came down wanting to get back on the inside groove and tapped him just a little bit and sent him right into the wall.
Hard contact, and Jeff is being checked over in the infield medical center. However, he did get out of the car under his own power. And let's go to Jerry, who has an update on the 26 car.
Clyde Booth is the team manager for the Quaker State efforts. Clyde, how bad is the car hurt?
Well, right now we've got the right rear has got the eccentric loose, and the right rear is actually pulled back in the car, and the car's dog tracking. So we absolutely can't run it that way. It's going to get real loose if we do, so we're going to have to make an adjustment here on it.
Well, you're going to have to come back in and make an adjustment and probably end up losing some laps.
Well, we hope not we're going to lose any laps, but we're going to have to adjust it for sure.
Well, they're ready to work on the Quaker State car here in the pits as we are in the early laps at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Back with more after this. Stay with us.
Car begins to move away. However, the field is coming out of turn number 3 and about to take the green flag for a restart. Brett is going to get out before losing a lap, but probably will, depending upon how fast the field takes the green flag. Here it is. We're back to racing on lap 16. Once again, they begin to fan out, coming down the straightaway. Wally Dallenbach Jr.'s on the inside, picking up position on Michael Waltrip. Drivers who have made impressive moves here in the first 15 laps of this race. Morgan Shepherd started 25th, is now 10th. Dale Jarrett started 21st, is 11th. And Phil Parsons started 28th, is now 12th, as Mark Martin closes in on the leader, Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt started, what, about 6th and is leading the race.
Yeah, started 5th. Didn't take him long to pick off this forward foot out here.
Davey Allison there on the left of your screen. He's in 3rd position, going over the area of the racetrack on which his terrible accident occurred here last July in the 2nd race in Pocono.
Or you can see how low they get on the racetrack through turns.
Here comes Mark Martin. He's giving Earnhardt a shot.
Going to the inside on the north, the Long Pond straightaway, and Mark Martin is going to take back the lead from Earnhardt.
Remember last week at Dover when Mark Martin passed Earnhardt? Earnhardt passed him back to the next corner. Is he going to do the same thing again?
Wouldn't surprise me. Yep.
He did.
And Davey Allison comes up to take 2nd place away from Mark. Allison begins to close in on Earnhardt.
Ford this year for the Raymark team.
Action continues on the track.